the tape. Come here, step in my office and watch the tape.
He scores! Mike Rupp has 3 goals in the hopper, his first career hat trick.
I gotta watch the tape.
Let's dive into the tape.
Mike Rupp with a Yager-like salute.
Roll the tape.
Rupp with a shot. He scores!
You saw him do it in New Jersey. Now he's done it here in the Winter Classic. 2 goals for Mike Rupp.
This guy needs to watch the tape. Look at him go. Tape the tape. Let's diggity dive right into the tape.
Yeah, it's time for another installment of The Tape Room with the one and only Mike Rupp. And we're going to focus on the New York Islanders for this one. They've won 6 of their last 7 games. This is not last year's New York Islanders.
No.
What have you seen from them over this hot streak?
Well, first and foremost, I want to say this because I've waited and I've thought for years and years and years, even playing in this Metro New York area, I've been waiting for there to be a time when the Islanders, Devils, Rangers were all good. This might be the first time that we're seeing. I know it's a small sample size this year, but this Islanders team is back and they look a little bit different. So, you know, I think one of the things that this Islanders team, you gotta get your D involved. We know that.
Yeah.
Today's NHL, you got to get all 6 D involved and get going. But this is a team they've changed a few different things. Lane Lambert did. So, and that's not to say what Barry Trotz did before wasn't good. I mean, they made it to 2 Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But so it was just trying to spruce it up a little bit. This team has not scored many goals. This team, a lot of people, oh, they're boring, they don't score goals, yada, yada, beep, beep, boop. And so anyways, here's a season comparison from last year to this year. They're scoring goals now, guys. Are they fun to watch? I'm just going to pose that question. They're winning games. And I just want to show this graphic.
Winning is fun.
What's that? Winning is fun.
Always fun.
Yeah, but not for everybody each, because people say, oh, they're boring. They almost went to 2 Stanley Cup finals. So I don't care if it's boring
People
or not.
that say that, I'm like, you watch the Islanders in the
We're
last
starting to
5
see
years?
goals.
You know who says it? You know who says it? The opponents.
The opponent. All right. So
fan.
I just wanted to show this real quick because this is the way my brain works, and maybe it can help some people out to understand what I'm saying here. So let's just say, for an example, that this is the New York Islanders' end. Okay, this is the end that they are defending. This is under the old, not the old. This is who they are and what they've been. They're really good defensive, right? So this is where they're trying to score a lot of times. The problem is that they were a team that would retreat often, and they back off the lines. They back off. They'd have 5 guys above the puck all times. And that's great. And they were awesome defensively. The problem is it took away from their offense. And they need to get to learn some more offense or get that incorporated in their game. So they would give up. So picture this ice as being 100%, right? Goal line in my end to goal line there, that's 100%. It's not 100% because of the surface. You got what I'm saying. That's 100% to gain to get a goal, okay? This Islanders team was used to retreating so much that they'd get support, but they'd just be heading back to their zone at all times, and this would make them start. Their starting point would be down in their corner. Now they've got to sit there and they've got to go 100% to get there. So now they're allowing their D standing up in certain areas of the ice. Stand up, create confrontation at the red line, create at the blue line, create at the offensive blue line. Now all of a sudden you're only moving 50%. You're only going. It's allowing them to get to their offensive game because they have offensive players. So let's get to the first clip here, and this is some of the things they've done, and it's even in the offensive zone. And we're going to start this one. We're going to get a pause right here. So we got to pause here. This is what I really like, and I think this is Sebastian Aho. He's going to sit here. In a lot of situations, you'd see the Islanders kind of just taking the safe route, right? Just back off the line. They've got Milan Lucic right here. You've got support, I think, from Richie coming from underneath, and you would back off. Well, he doesn't. Watch what he does. He steps in here, keeps his play alive. And it just kind of, just a bounce doesn't look like much, but look, this gives them another chance to get to their offense, okay? So now this puck's going to go. You got a defenseman getting involved. Pause it here. Stand in there, right down the wall again. Bang, we're going to jam it down. You know why? Because I know I have support here, and this is Matthew Barzal. They get their support from their forwards, so now we can get our D activated. And we'll roll it. And this is prolonged shifts. It gives them more opportunity. Matt Barzal's able to stand in there. And now, look, this is the other part. I forgot about this. Pause it there. That's Scott Mayfield. Bring it back a couple frames here, and you're going to have the puck's going to come up, and look at the anticipation here where you just have Scott Mayfield's like, no, I'm going to stand in here. I don't care. Like, you're not going to get to this because I'm going to squash that play before it even starts. They're closing out plays. Their D are allowed to do this, and now all of a sudden this creates that ice that I said. Now they can get the puck, and they can only go this distance to get to their offense. So let's roll it forward. their D are standing up. They're being much more aggressive. And pause it there. That Scott Mayfield, go back a little further. Scott Mayfield's coming in here. He's sitting in that area, okay? And then you're going to have another player sitting in out here that's going to pop in. That's Sebastian Aho. And roll this forward. Puck's going to come up. Just sit in there. Look at, he had a guy poaching behind him, and usually this Islanders team would back off. No, man, stay in there. Stay in there. And look what they get out of this. They get some more opportunities. And pause it here. All right, so this is a great gap. That's one thing that they've done real well, too, is, all right, the only way you guys can gap up is if we have support and we have bodies back, which they have here. And this Islanders team, they're closing out plays in parts of the ice. They'd usually just funnel you to the corner. Then they get into a grind, and then they get the puck back. Now they got to go almost 200 feet to get the offense. Now look at this gap right there. I love this tight gap. Roll it forward a little bit here, and you got Noah Dobson right there as a defenseman just poaching. He doesn't, the days of just being robotic and going back and defending, pause it here, that's behind. Let's start reading plays. You got a chance to be aggressive and go, and Dobson does it on that one. Here's another one. Dobson is down here. Roll it. He's going to get involved, stop up, and this is, pause it here. So this is a great skill play here by Matt Barzal as well, because he's bringing in 3 Calgary Flames basically paying attention to him, and you've already got a defenseman in Dobson, I pointed out, getting involved. Well, look who comes flying through here too. This is a different mindset. Roll it, and you're going to have Scott Mayfield come in here. That doesn't able to connect there, but it just looks different, and this is the last one. Pause it here. There's a great gap. Bring it back a little bit. Kadri's trying to sit here. This is what I'm talking about. When you've got 2D, like, they don't even really have support here, guys. Like, there's no Islanders player right in the middle here, you know, backing them up. They're still coming up ice from this area. But they have this confidence. We're going to gap up. We're going to close out plays. You might beat us, but you're going to have to pull off a spectacular one. They make Kadri dump it and roll it forward, and you bat it out of the air. Now this just kind of creates the Calgary Flames go offside. So that gap, them being aggressive, standing up, they were a team before that was okay with just defending, and they did it really well. But now they're like, all right, well, you got to give and take. You got to give up some of that defensiveness and be willing to be aggressive. And that's one thing that I think they're really doing much better at. Lane Lambert's preaching it. He's preaching it. They haven't totally gotten around to doing it for 60 minutes like you could see last night in that game. But in that third period last night, they started doing those things, and then they got themselves goals, and they end up winning that game in overtime.
It's a great tape because people often, we've talked about Barry Trotz leaving, Lane Lambert coming in, right? Lane Lambert was Barry Trotz's first lieutenant for years and years. So there was the idea of, well, nothing's really going to change.
Yeah.
Well, apparently, there are some little wrinkles and some things they do different under Lane Lambert, and that's made them more unpredictable this year, right? For the Flames, they're probably maybe, and other teams that are playing the Islanders are thinking they're going to do something they've done for the last couple of years. Well, they're not that team right now. So you've got to adjust to that.
I think that's a good way of putting it, is less predictable. People started realizing they're just going to funnel us to an area of the ice we don't want to be, and then they're going to get in a battle. They're going to get the puck, and it became frustrating playing that way. And they adjusted. And the Islanders struggled last year for many circumstances, but now they're starting to get a different look to them. And this is the one thing, too. Their power play has been not good at all. Matt Barzal does not have a goal, although he's been playing very, very well. Wow. So
13 assists or something?
14 assists, I think. So when Barzal gets going, scores some goals, that power play gets going, this Islanders team, they might be fun.
And they got a great goaltender, so that kept them in the game last night.
Best goaltending tandem I think they got.
I would agree with that, and but Sorokin has been dynamic. He kept them in the game early, made some big saves actually in overtime too, until they got that power play and scored the winner. I liked, you talk about Barzal, right? I like that he slid back into the right spot. That's got to make the coaches happy, right? Like now it's a give and take with players. Like now we trust you here, Matt.
Yes.
So
Barzy, you back us up. You back the D up. They'll get involved.
And you can
play more offensive zone.
Exactly. And, for me, I used to tell the kids, 15, 16-year-olds, working with defensemen, like, we want you guys to step up and go for those 50-50 pucks and go after the opponent. Because if you just back off, the other team is coming with speed, and then where are we playing? We're playing in our end. I never want to play in my end. I always want to play in the other end. So we have to win those. In the defense, you get guys, and even at the NHL level, I'm sure that are young players that are learning. They don't want to get burned. They defer to back out. And, I would just tell them, listen, go for it. Make the plays, because it's up to the forwards now. You pointed out the gap, to be coming back and to create that squeeze in the middle to give no room, no time and space to an opponent. So it has to work both ways. The defenseman's got to step up and look for that conflict and try to win that 50-50 puck. And the forwards have to be coming back to support him so he doesn't have to worry about, hey, I could get burned, and then it's on me as the guy's going down the ice the other way. So it all works together, and the Islanders are doing a nice job of it right now. Great tape.
I think it's a work in progress, but when they do it right, they look different to me.
Yeah.
And they have put together some nice games.
Numbers are right there, right, Jack? You brought it up last week.
Yeah, like they're getting wins. I mean, last week, and I don't know if it still stands, but they were #1 in the league in 5-on-5 goals per 60. The New York Islanders, the team that people said was sleepy and boring and not fun. Well, they are scoring, and you know, all that really matters is that they're getting wins. They've won 6 of their last 7 as they get more comfortable with what you're talking about and playing that way. And for Matt Barzal, I know it's like, okay, this is what he's supposed to say, but it seemed quite genuine last night after the game. Of course, he's going to get asked, you haven't scored a goal yet. And he was like, listen, obviously I would like to be scoring goals, but we're winning.
Yeah.
So
I think
this is the
best. This is the best I've seen Matt Barzal most consistent.
Like bought in.
Yeah, he's playing. He is passing the puck amazingly right now. He's just not getting goals. If they can just get away from doing, they resort to going back to what they know, and that's defending. You guys can do more than that. When they do that, man, this team's tough.
And they got a great engine. When you think of their blue line, they've got. You want those guys up in there. You want.
And Noah
Pulak
Dobson is
and
like
Pelech
really
and
coming
Dobson.
to his own.
Dobson has stepped into a situation now. The last year plus what he's done the start of this year. He's in that conversation among the top 10, 15 defensemen in the league because he's played that well and he's producing points. Even in Scotty Mayfield, you want these guys up. Aho, you want them up in the play. And it's just the team. When the forwards are working back, now it all works.
And tonight it will be the Battle of New York, both the Islanders and Rangers competitive to start this season. So I know you love to see that, Rupper.
Yes.
Battle of New York tonight, the Islanders taking on the Rangers.